The Delhi Development Authority or DDA has cleared the land pooling policy. This is an important and critical development for boosting the housing supply in a city which is reeling under price increases and shortage of affordable homes. Private developers will also now be allowed to work closely with a group of landowners and DDA, which will provide the infrastructure for developing new townships. Literally, that's what it's spoken about. Key highlights of this policy. Let's take a quick look at it before I go to my panel and figure out what exactly does it mean for all the buyers in Delhi waiting to get a home of their own. First of all, consolidating land parcels from group of owners. Now, this could be, of course, a group of farmers as well. Collective ownership rights will rest with the DDA. DDA will be in charge of infrastructure development. And of course, there's a proposal that this is not going to be held. There will be a single window clearance. All stakeholders will come together and make sure that the process moves fast. Norms for land pooling. Part of the developed land will be returned to the landowners. And this again, like I said, could be farmers who've been very agitated over the past, saying that they haven't got fair price for the land that they've given for development. FAR of 400 for group housing, that's another important point. We'll discuss whether this FAR is enough or not, and 15% land for EWS homes. So these are some of the key points of the land pooling policy. Ramesh Menon, Director Certis Realty, and Ashok Khurana, former member engineer DDA, are with me here in the studio to of course discuss this in further detail. Explain to me, Khurana sir, what does this mean? I mean, you know, it is so vague for the common viewer. What kind of land will get pooled together?
It's any type of the land. It's a whole development will take place. Now the problem right now.
But it is new land which is not developed.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
a new land.
It's new land which maybe farmers are owning it, or could be small developers. Who would be owning that land?
It could be anyone. They have to pool the land and come to DDA. This is our pooled land, 10 hectare, 2 hectare, or 20 hectare. There are the different formulas for the 20 hectare.
Right.
Then
but the starting point is 2 hectare?
Pardon?
Starting point is 2 hectares. So, smallest holding or land pool which should be formed by the group of owners should be 2 hectares. Yes. Only then will DDA consider it as pooled land and then step in.
Yeah.
All right. Ramesh, why is it that it's been considered to be a much better way to move forward for creating new housing societies in the city compared to what was happening earlier where DDA was buying all the land?
3 quick factors. One, DDA devised this model of land aggregation way back in the 60s, and the last time they could successfully do for Rohini and Dwarka was in the 80s, early 80s. Subsequently, it was getting difficult for DDA to buy land. Pace of development could not keep up with the demography increase, and thirdly, the quality or standards of living that people seek now. Are more in line with what the private sector delivers rather than what DDA delivers.
All right.
So in totality, you know, the land is becoming a very sticky subject, and the political class also would like to stay away from the forceful acquisition of land. So the LARR bill also, the technical committee or the expert body, moves from acquisition to purchase.
Okay, Khurana Sahab, what I'd like to understand is that if it was becoming a sticky issue and farmers were complaining, and we've had agitations beyond Rohini in some of the land acquisition cases, will it stop now? Is this a fair method? Do you think now farmers, because they're going to get back a large part of their land after redevelopment, will be more enticed and more encouraged to actually pool their land and come forward?
Yeah. In the southern part of India, it has happened also. The farmers have joined hands together and developed an area. Here also the farmers can join a hand and develop the area, but it will be as per our master plan which DDA has established. All the road network to follow that. That's why the land pooling and some part, 40 to 60% goes back to the developer. Whosoever is there, he can be a farmer also. Whosoever is there, society can be there. The rest goes for the city level services. No, city is to be interconnected with the old city. So all the city level services will be provided from the balanced land.
Okay.
Even the pumping, water pumping, sewage pumping.
So it will come within the Delhi municipality limits. I think that's so which are these exciting areas which are going to come up? So they are not going to be in the existing Delhi, right? There is no, it has to be beyond Rohini, beyond Dwarka, now new areas which are going to come up.
They are actually abutting all these micro markets that you mentioned, including South Delhi. So there is going to be a large area in Chhatarpur and Vasant Kunj that will also come under these land pooling policies as such, and you're going to see a fair amount of development starting to happen all across Delhi as such. But having said that, I think it's still a good 3 to 5 years away when you will see actually group housing units actually coming up and releasing enough supply in the Delhi. In the Delhi city.
3 to 5 years, are we being ambitious? Because the policies got rolled out, Ramesh, but you know, looking at the track record of how development has happened, here you're trying to get consensus, you're getting landowners to pool land, then you have to negotiate.
That's why
all of those things. It will take time, isn't it? Are we being ambitious by saying in maybe 5 years things will start easing up?
I tend to agree with Sameer that the supply of large domestic residential units will hit the market in 3 to 5 years. Having said that, you know, it will be large supply. If you look at the track record of DDA, the typical supply released every year was about 8 to 10,000 dwelling units, which was not even 1/7 of what the demand surge was.
Right.
In 3 to 5 years, if we can release a supply of more than 2.5 to 3 lakh dwelling units a year, that will be a very, very positive step. Let's not also forget that Delhi would add a population of another crore and 10 lakhs over the next 10 years. So we need to factor.
Scary figures, very scary figures.
Yes.
Khurana Saab, do you think that DDA is geared up to now follow it in spirit? Because, you know, one is that you have a policy, you do know that this policy is, the earlier policy is redundant, it's a 1961 policy, but then the things that are being spoken about, a single window clearance, getting all decision makers to come together and make sure this process moves faster, you've been part of DDA. Do you think that they're geared up?
No,
and there is a change and shift in mind?
There is a change in shift in mind, that's why the policy has come. The main is that now the rules to be framed under the policy. Now policy has been cleared at the stage 1. If there is a public objections and views are to be invited. Then it will again go back to the authority with those views and objections. Then it will be approved by the authority, goes to ministry, notified as a policy. Then the main is the rules and regulation, how the policy is to implement it. The most typical and difficult part will be the land pooling, where the land resource will be managed. If some farmer has a area group of farmers of 4-5 hectares and all is falling in the green belt shown in the master plan. Now they have to be compensated against that.
Yes, absolutely.
So that will be they will be compensated from the land pool already created. So who will managing that land pool and how it is to manage? I would request that this should be fair. It should be open. It should be on the internet available. It should be all computerized. It should not be through the files of. It should not happen through the files.
Yeah.
It should be all open. Then you will have the lot of supply. The DDA, Delhi will not be dearth of the supply of the housing units.
All right. Eventually, if all pans out well, of course, I know that the current Minister Kamal Nath and also the Lieutenant General have been supporting it, and that's the reason why we've got a change. Hopefully they would like to fast track and before the 2014 election have all the rules in place as well, Sameer. But do you think that in 5 to 7 years we can really hope for some kind of price moderation in the Delhi's real estate market?
I would completely agree with you. In fact, I think one of the biggest reasons why Delhi has already witnessing price drops is because a lot of money right now is going into buying land parcels in these agricultural areas to be launched for group housing projects or farmhouse projects as of right now. So we are already seeing prices drop in Delhi, and once these projects start to come up, there will be luxury projects. Ultimate super luxury living will also get announced through many developers like DLF and IREO who own large parcels of land already in these areas. You will definitely see a price drop.
Is there any hope? Okay, you have a point, then I'll ask my question.
It's not just 2014 elections, also 2013 when the Delhi state goes to the polls.
Delhi state goes, that's November.
That's end of this year.
So that's just, even before that we will probably, there'll be a rush to actually bring all the rules in place. But tell me, what happens to the current Delhi, which is also reeling under a lot of pressures, which essentially means that you need higher FSI, you need to probably break down existing DDA colonies and probably have high-rise in their places. Is there a plan anytime to do all of those things? So that's a very Herculean task, and let's not go there.
The Delhi master plan definitely does have a redevelopment or incentivized redevelopment plan for the existing parts of Delhi. they are incentivizing by a higher FAR to the tune of 50% of what is allowed today. But what is more critical is not the trickles of supply that will be generated from the redevelopment.
But big, massive
you
supply.
have to have a big surge of supply for the prices
and
to actually
so many
correct.
private developers now who own land parcels here, you don't really need to bother about redevelopment in Delhi.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So, very critical policy. Khurana Saab, thank you very much.